hello there, my retards. Welcome back to the Magick Kool-Aid News Network. It's me, your host, the irreverent Dr. Michael Christ, and I know it's been a while since you junkies had your fix of Kool-Aid, but we're going to take care of that, okay? Because I'm going to release 5 segments of Magick Kool-Aid over the coming days. So get your lube ready, alright? Because there's going to be a lot of masturbation, mental and physical. I'm masturbating right now, that's why you don't see my left hand. I'm just kidding, I masturbate with my right hand. Now, you're probably wondering who our first retard is. Well, of course, you already know because I put it in the title of the video. It's Teal Swan, and she's going to explain to us how to cure negativity today. It's funny that a person who tells us all that suicide is perfectly acceptable after she drives people to suicide is going to explain to us how we can cure negativity. Let me guess, is your cure for negativity suicide? I'm just wondering, because it seems perfectly acceptable for you to be telling that to people, doesn't it, Teal? But I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. In fact, I already know what your cure for negativity is, and suicide is a more preferable option to what you're going to explain to us here. But let's give you a chance. And by the way, in your intro, this outfit that you're wearing, it is absolutely gross. That is a gross outfit. I know it's a cartoon, but you need to redo it because that is just nasty. All right? Ask Teal. Teal, I have a question. What's the cure for negativity? Because I'm too stupid to figure it out myself. The negativity cure.
Hello there.
Hey, Teal.
The brain is a tool that is designed to facilitate life here on Earth.
Not correct. Incorrect.
And the purpose for life here is expansion.
No, also, I was going to let you talk, but I have to correct you on 2 inaccurate statements. First off, the brain was not designed to do shit, okay? It evolved to do things over time based on necessity and random chaos. Was not designed for anything. And number 2, life is not all about expansion, all right? Things that expand are not always good. Sometimes you want some contractions in life. For instance, when cancer expands, is that good? What about AIDS? AIDS tends to expand by spreading to people through sexual contact or otherwise. Is that also good? I'm just curious because it seems to me as though you think expansion is somehow the source of all things, the source of goodness in the universe. And it seems to me that that's a blatantly retarded statement to be making. For instance, another example, what about the Nazi Empire? Should we have wanted them to expand as well? Although, I don't know what your answer on that might be.
But we couldn't gain expansion out of life if we couldn't survive here. And so the brain is equipped, first and foremost, with survival mechanisms. Things that pose a threat to us are of much...
Things that pose a threat to society. Pro-suicide New Age charlatans? Telling everyone that killing themselves is completely inconsequential? Could that be something that poses a threat to society?
More importance to our brain. It's much more concerned with what's going wrong than what's going right.
Okay.
Things that are going right don't threaten survival. Things that are going wrong absolutely do.
You know what threatens survival? I mean, I hate to beat a dead horse here, but it is something that I'm great at. What really threatens survival is suicide. Is telling people, you don't need to survive. Why don't you just go press the reset button? That could possibly be a threat to survival. How do you feel about that, Teal?
And so the brain switches into fight or flight mode. And the minute...
If you see Teal, flight is the best option, all right? If you see her walking down the street, turn around and run in the other direction. Because you have no idea the kind of chaos and miserable hell she'll bring into your brain if you're even half retarded.
And it does this. It becomes hyper-vigilant for things that are going wrong. It becomes hyper-vigilant to negativity. Absolutely focused on it. And when your brain has switched into this mode, focusing positively becomes almost impossible. This is...
You are someone who tells people that focusing positively is not necessary. You don't try to pull people up into the light of positivity. When people are at their weakest and most vulnerable moments, you tell them to just go ahead and press the fucking reset button. So you're just a total hypocrite here, it seems to me. Although you are just describing something, so maybe you're not a hypocrite. Maybe you're just describing the illicit ways in which you corrupt people's brains and ruin their lives and create endless tragedy for the family members and friends and lovers of those people once they inevitably press that reset button that you tell them that they maybe should consider pressing, you know?
Where we get into a negative spiral. Where when the brain fixates on something that makes it feel danger, when it's in that fight or flight mode, it cannot focus positively. So it focuses on everything that's negative, and it continues to do this and continues to do this. And what do we know about the law of attraction? Unfortunately, whatever.
I know one thing about the law of attraction. You just made a video that says fuck the law of attraction. That's what I know about it. So now you're going to go turn your ass, do a 180, and start telling us that the law of attraction's real? Which is it? Are you bipolar? Are you suffering from a mental disorder and that's why the advice that you give everyone is so conflicting? Or are you intentionally trying to confuse people so that they're easier to manipulate? I mean, I could see it going either way.
You focus on, you get more of, until you're in a death spiral. If
What
you
a funny
felt
thing
safe
for you to
most
say.
of your life, chances are it's not very hard for you to think positively, because your brain is not caught in that negative feedback loop. It's not constantly trying to avoid danger through pessimism. However, if you are the kind of person who experienced trauma in your life, if you did experience danger, if you got hurt,
like you,
then chances are your brain is wired towards danger.
All right, guys. Teal has said one correct statement so far in the 2 minutes and 21 seconds of her video. And the statement is that there are two kinds of people in life. There are those who have suffered and they understand pessimism and negativity, and then there are those who have never really felt true danger, who have lived insulated lives, and so they can't understand these concepts of darkness and what it means to be trapped within it. Correct statement, Teal. And I'm of the suffering darkness persuasion. I have a strong feeling that you are too. That's why I understand you by looking into your deep, dark eyes. My eyes are darker, though. But my point here is, you understand these things because you've been wounded. And the reason that you are so manipulative and predatory is because you, in fact, have been manipulated and preyed upon in your life. By either multiple people or by one particular person. It seems probably that it's one person you've spoken about before in the past and blamed all of your problems on. But what's happened here is, since we were talking about negative spirals and cycles and whatnot, you've decided that because your power was taken away from you by some sociopathic predator a long time ago, that you need to reclaim that power. And there's a part of you that respects him for being able to manipulate you that way, right? And I'm assuming it's a him. I mean, it could have been a woman, but I think I know who it was. But anyway, you are actually emulating the same tactics that he used on you to prey upon other people. Am I right, Teal? That's definitely what's happening. You got bit by a vampire, and you became one. It's a tragic, age-old story, okay? But I'm also a vampire, and that's why I know exactly the mental bullshit and gymnastics that you're getting up to in order to feed off of the vulnerability and retardation of your audience.
In other words, if you experience a trauma related to love, your heart will inform the brain to go into self-protection mode.
No, your heart doesn't experience things first! If your heart is broken, that's a fucking metaphor. When someone breaks your heart, your brain is what gets that information first. Your heart has no way of getting that information unless you're suggesting some kind of psychic extrasensory ability. Your heart does not actually think, all right? It reacts to things. It's very simple, and it's easily proven. Just ask a doctor, guys. I said this before. Don't ask Teal Swan. Ask a doctor. She's making these ridiculous statements about science that she is totally incorrect about. And she still has people who take her seriously? For real? This is not hard to figure out, everyone. The brain is ahead of the heart in terms of observation.
Reason it's a good idea to watch my video on YouTube titled Heart Meditation.
Go watch my other video and give me some more views and ad revenue. And then on that video, it'll direct you to yet another video that you can go watch. If you really want to experience the negativity, downward spiral of darkness and emptiness, just keep clicking around on all these Teal videos, okay? Watch them all day. You'll be in a downward spiral by the end of it, I guarantee it.
Stress also causes you to default into that sort of primitive survival mode where the brain literally makes it impossible to focus positively. So whatever you can do to reduce stress in your life, please do it.
Anything you can do to reduce stress in your life, do it, guys. For instance, if your baby won't stop crying, go put that bitch in the microwave. If your neighbor is upstairs singing opera at 4 in the morning and you're trying to sleep, just grab a knife and go put it right in his fucking eyes, alright? That will reduce your stress. You know, stress, fuck stress. No one should ever be stressed, everyone. Stress is totally irrelevant and has no purpose whatsoever for evolution. Anything you can do to reduce stress, and I do mean anything, like perhaps going to a giant bareback fucking bukkake orgy, if that reduces your stress, who gives a shit if it gives you AIDS? At least it makes you feel good for 5 or 10 minutes. Or like 5 or 10 hours if you're me.
I just want you to let yourself off the hook a little bit. If you have something going on in your life that's causing you a huge amount of...
Don't let yourself off the hook, okay? Maybe people do judge themselves unfairly for certain things they've done. But like, for instance, if you're a charlatan new age hack who tells people that maybe they should consider to take a long drive and think about whether or not they want to commit suicide, and then they actually do it, don't let yourself off the hook for that one. Because that's fucked up, and maybe you should feel fucking guilty. Maybe you should feel ashamed. Maybe there's something seriously wrong with you and you're a major threat to society who needs to be put in a straitjacket and forcibly medicated. So don't let yourself off the hook for everything, guys.
Stress or that is actually posing a threat to you, the likelihood of you being able to easily focus positively is very, very low.
Are you going to tell us how to cure negativity already?
Switched into that,
or do I just have to rip on you for another 10 minutes?
Let's say negative focus territory, that hypervigilance for negative mode that happens in conjunction with our survival mechanisms. In the beginning of trying to change your negative focus, the portion of your brain called the prefrontal cortex will have to use conscious will to override its old pattern or code in your brain until the code shifts and new neurons wire together, creating a positive focus neural circuit.
It's not about negativity and positivity. It's about any behavior or action whatsoever you can do this with. Doesn't have to be positive, doesn't have to be negative. It can simply be the act of cleaning your house every fucking day. It can simply be the act of having a habit or a routine. It can simply be the act of watching a million Teal Swan videos until your brain melts and you're a total retard. Any of these things can be wired into your brain. And you can do it consciously and you can do it unconsciously. But what I would suggest is that you don't take advice from someone who is on record as suggesting suicide is acceptable. And as I mentioned, I do hate to keep beating a dead horse. Actually, I kind of love it because I'm sadistic that way. But Teal is not someone you need to be going to for spiritual or intellectual advice, because just know, at your weakest moment, perhaps in a moment of doubt that you have for Teal, her advice to you would be to consider how much you really want to be alive. And then I think we all know what that means, right?
It then becomes the unconscious default.
The hypocrisy of you giving advice to people about negativity is just stunning and mind-blowing, really.
I want you to employ an energy healing technique. I'll show you what I mean.
Here we go, guys. So everyone, Teal Swan is going to use her housekeeper, who I'm sure is being paid a very small amount of money, as a prop in this video where she explains how she can use her magic powers to overwrite the neurons and patterns in your brain to make you think positively. Prepare to cringe.
What to do is to lay down, just like Graciela has here, and I want you to get somebody to do this technique on you. I'm going to be explaining what the person in my position is
magic power time, guys.
So that when you find that person, you can explain it to them. So I want them to put their hands around
Can you
your...
imagine the nightmare of being Teal's fucking housekeeper? The bipolar mood swings, the craven displays of power that must be a part of the daily routine.
Head. And their focus
This lady
is going to be
needs to get this
specifically
negativity
your
out of her
brain.
head.
They're going to connect to your brain. And then the intention for this...
You're not connected to Graciella's brain. Your fingers are connected to her temples. And also, we're talking about negative feedback loops and downward spirals and blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm sorry, but I just have a hard time believing that Graciella is having positive thoughts being a prop in your video while you pretend to use your magic powers on her. In fact, I have a very strong feeling that her thoughts at this moment are primarily negative.
Healing session...
What do I know?
...is to replace the negativity with positivity.
You're an older vampire than me, so...
So this is going to be a highly intuitive process.
Guess I should respect my
you can
elders.
Let whoever's doing this to you make it highly intuitive. And if you're in Graciella's position, you can do whatever you want with your mind. Either you can just surrender and let them do the whole thing, or you can intentionally think about the process that you want to take place.
All right, this is important because what she just said is the person who's having their brain rewired doesn't even have to think positive thoughts. It's all in the hands of Teal the healer, okay? Graciella can just lay there and think about how much she can't wait for 5 o'clock so she can get the fuck out of this crazy witch's house. In the meantime, Teal's going to use her magic Reiki powers to send positive vibes into Graciella's brain and rework those nasty thoughts. So Graciella does not even have to intentionally think positive thoughts to correct herself. Nope, it's all in the hands, literally, of Teal to send this magic power into her brain and cause it to rework itself, even potentially against Graciella's will. So we know you don't have magic powers, Teal, and we know you cannot rewire people's brains to think positively using your special super magic snowflake fingertips, all right? So you're full of shit, and it's blatantly obvious to anyone who's not already retarded.
Brain. Now, the person who's in my position, who's going to be doing this with you, may begin by pulling out negative energy.
Yeah, I can see it in the air. She's pulling that negative energy right out of Graciella's skull.
In your brain, and then they can pull it.
This is a real de-evolution for you, okay? You do all the pseudo-psychological, pseudo-scientific shit that maybe some idiots can buy. But this, pulling the dark energy out of her brain using your fingers, we're supposed to buy that. You've just revealed yourself as a bald-faced snake oil sales pitch lady, all right?
You can pull it out the ears.
This is hilariously bad. That's why I'm laughing so hard.
And then they can replace it with positive energy.
Now she's replacing it.
Or just holding the brain.
By the way, Graciella, I would not put myself in a vulnerable position with my eyes closed around this lunatic, all right? You never know when she's going to put a knife in your face.
They can simply hold the high-frequency positive energy, infuse that into the brain. This is
Graciella's first day on the job.
Which requires the brain to adopt that frequency. And then the negativity is replaced on its own.
Oh, okay.
They can also focus on creating different neural pathways.
Right.
So if they can connect to the fact that in your brain you've got all these negative pathways going through your brain, they can undo those pathways,
you read her mind that way
short-circuit them, and then intentionally focus on creating positive...
You're telling me that you're the one that's short-circuiting the negative pathways in Graciella's brain by touching her head? I'm not going to repeat how stupid that is over and over again. All I'm going to say is, you are bad! You are really bad, okay? This is amateur shit. I can't believe you have a following when this is your fucking solution to negativity. Hey guys, if this doesn't work, don't forget, suicide's always an option. Teal, I'm done with you for now, lady. But we'll be back. We'll be back sooner than you think. All right? Now, let's get to some other ass wipes in the next segment. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. You're not doing it enough. All right? I love you. Bye.